remember the first time he did it, and I turned over, and I'm looking at the bozo face. I just go, where am I? What's happening to me? I sleep on this clown.
Warren used bozo's popularity as a springboard to a wide range of unlikely personal adventures, including a journey to New Guinea and a ride on massive weightless floats. Eventually, more than 100 bozos across the country put on the distinctive clown makeup 5 days a week, following the look refined by Larry Harmon.
No smoking, no drinking, no womanizing, never show skin, never have skin, because a child should think of bozo as bozo, not a person underneath.
The bozos were not clones. It was a reflection of the Dominican, including Frank Arush in Boston.
Eu achava que o Bozo era brasileiro.
And Willard Scott in Washington, D.C. I really got to, I'd tremble sometimes trying to put the makeup on. It was exhausting.
Oh, wait, here's the fella. Thank you. Okay. Oh, I didn't think you were going to get down here. You're Chucky, right? What a nice smile,
Unlike many kids show hosts, bozo was constantly interacting with a full studio of overexcited youngsters. Because it was a live show, everything that happened got on the air, including the time one boy took a swing at Willard Scott. And he gave me a bat, and then I fell over because he was a big kid. And then he sat on my chest and started beating me up. They had to pull him off. So there are hazards with the show.
So keep on telling insurance, you minimize your fright. There may be interference when policemen save your life.
Chicago's version of Bozo Circus ranks as the most popular local children's show in TV. A cherished hour of games, songs, and laughs. On the air for more than 40 years.
You see how that works? Yeah. Now, what number did you say was on the other side?
Well, it's obvious you've already showed me now. I know there's only 2 on that side.
No, there's 3 over there. You see that, how that works, Cookie?
Yeah, it's sort of a raspy voice like that. You know, it was one of the shows I enjoyed watching as a kid, was the Bozo the Clown Show.
Now, how many did you say was on the other side?
Well, you showed me all right. I know there's 5 on the other side.
Sorry about that, Bill.
Cat. He must have heard his song and come over to play with us. Oh, it's amazing how the little... It's amazing how those little claws go right through to your skin.
Krusty the Clown. Now, Krusty the Clown was based on the Bozo the Clown I had in Chicago. I remember Bob Bell's voice, and you just doing these things on the fly, so I just did that. That was the voice.
Most bozos made public appearances at parades, schools, and grand openings. In Washington, D.C., the McDonald's hired Willard Scott as Bozo in an attempt to attract customers. It worked. Bozo's arrival at McDonald's sparked mayhem. Roads had to be closed. Extra police called out. Thousands wanted to see their hero. I had makeup on my face, and then I had this huge 900-pound suit, and it was 100 degrees, and we were doing an appearance out in, some McDonald's hamburger place. I never did deep six or fall over, but I thought a couple of times I was. What do you call it, hyperventilate? When the Bozo show was canceled in the Washington market, the local McDonald's restaurants were left without their best pitchman. McDonald's came to me and asked me, if I'd like to keep working for them. And of course I said, sure. And they said, well, what do you think we should do? I said, oh, it's obvious. We should have our own clown. The new clown Willard Scott came up with was Ronald McDonald. Basically, I mean, there was an awful lot of bozo and Ronald. You know, the laugh and the warmth and everything. In Ronald's first incarnation, the costume reflected his singular role as hamburger salesman. It was the most commercial, the gaudiest thing you've ever seen. There was a big wide blue belt around my middle, and it had a little spring in it, and we put 2 or 3 hamburgers, fake hamburgers, and when you press my belly button, the hamburgers pop out. And then we had a hat that made a styrofoam, and then the hat with a milkshake in front. This was pretty commercial. The crossover from show host to commercial wasn't unique to Bozo and Ronald. All across America, children's TV hosts were selling products.
So kids, you be sure and tell your mom about these Nabisco wheat honey that are so good to eat and so good for you, will you?
Now it's the sensational new Fire Chief Speakers hat. Easy to get from any Texaco, declared for $3.98.
At first, it seemed innocent to have a local host mention a few toys.
Because the children want to participate with you in this. That item that I'm using, that tambourine or the drum, is available. It's all right to tell them where they can buy it, don't you think?
As the hawking increased, criticism began to mount.
Remind Mom to be sure and get several packages of Mickleberry Plump and Juicy Franks today.
Because this is the Misfits football. It has that fresh from the farm flavor, you know what I mean? See, well, now those bubbles are available in what we call a bubble game. And it's available at Toyland for 98 cents. That's all it costs.
Did you ever stop to think how many times a day you can eat bread?
In 1968, a suburban mother named Peggy Charon gathered a few friends in her living room about ways to fight the growing commercialism of kids' TV shows. She called her group Action for Children's Television. And within 2 years, they were testifying before the Federal Communications Commission and spearheading major changes in broadcasting law, including the passage of a landmark rule that prohibited kids' TV hosts from selling products on their shows. Around the same time, comedian Bill Cosby turned his attention to children's television. He didn't like what he saw.
That TV set doesn't play children stories the way it ought to, because they won't pay the price unless some doll comes out of it, some toy comes out that they can put in the store and have the little children to a grown-up. I want that, or the people buy it and give it to them.
Cosby took action, earning a PhD in education, writing his dissertation on the untapped potential of children's TV. Cosby wanted to demonstrate that commercial stations could produce a quality program for kids, a show that had educational value and got good ratings. His breakthrough series was called Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids.
They became stories and content areas that, regardless of who you were or where you lived, there was something in those stories that you could take away, from the program and apply it to your own life.
Not only was the show the kind of show that everybody thought would fail, but it got humongous numbers. We got 60 shares at 12 o'clock Saturday morning. And that was a lot even then.
We demonstrated that children's show with educational content could succeed on commercial television. Kids TV didn't have to seek a shameless product show to succeed. CBS was stunned when Fat Albert became a major success.
There wasn't anything in particular that they could sell. It was still almost an albatross, this show. Two things. It was a kid's show. Number two, it was black to people in the network, to people in advertising. And so, even though we were flipping Major League Baseball, there wasn't, I think CBS at that time was looking around over their shoulder for something else to come along. But man, we did, yes, I'm proud.
TV shows were on the decline. The new laws banning host selling had cut deeply into the bottom line, and cheaper syndicated fare was now widely available. The era of the hometown TV cowboys, pirates, and clowns.
Não, velho, o bozo é o bozo é o
Still going strong through the 1980s. One key to the show that Gerald.
Lá não sabia se chama bozo, McDonald's ou Ronald McDonald. Porque Ronald é o nome do bozo.
Played by Patrick Mann, Gerald was a self-important snob who audiences loved to hate. While most kid shows had a friendly hero, very few had a villain. And on Wallace and Latner, the villain had girlish hair, wore short pants, and annoyed everyone.
What are you talking about?
I didn't know you were in the Boy Scouts.
Like your son, not a Boy Scout.
Girl Scout?
Ah, vou desligar essa porta, isso aqui.
Boy Scouts are for ordinary